Welcome, everybody, to episode 9 of Stub Luv Live. And I am really excited for tonight's show. We have one of I would call him super collectors on, Marc Mader. And Marc is just an unbelievable ticket collector. I see that he's requested, so let me get him on. There he is.
Hey, Howie. How are you, Howard?
I'm doing really well. How are you, Marc?
I'm good. Doing good.
Good to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad I made the top 10.
Well, you definitely are a top 10 in my mind for a lot of reasons. So I'm really excited to have you on. Let's jump on into it. I kind of like to try to keep these short, and I know you've got a lot of good stuff to show. So let's talk a little bit. So what got you into ticket collecting, Marc? I know you are a huge card and memorabilia collector, but what got you into tickets?
Yeah, so going back to cards and memorabilia, I saw in 2021 the escalation of pricing and just out of hand had gotten. And when I sold my Jeter PSA 10, the 93 foil, I sold it for 690,000. I knew I was priced way out of the card market as far as I wanted to be. So I started looking for other assets to invest in, and I just fell in love with tickets. I started seeing how undervalued they were and going for auctions, and that's what got me into it. Just the escalation of the card market and the memorabilia market brought me to tickets.
What was the first ticket that you acquired when you started on your ticket collecting journey? Do you
Yeah, I
remember?
do. It was the Johnny Sylvester ticket, the 3 home run Babe Ruth game. And it was
Awesome
listed,
ticket.
it wasn't even listed as Johnny Sylvester. It was listed as a 3 home run game for World Series game for Babe Ruth. It was on golden auctions.
Can you show that a little bit
Yeah,
closer up and let everyone take a gander
I
at it? Yeah,
can.
put it a little higher and a little further back. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Wow, yeah. I actually have to tell you, Marc, I think that is an incredibly undervalued ticket.
I believe the story behind this. You just once you hear the story and read up on it, you'll consider it way undervalued.
Justin Sutterfield is one of the, I think, Ruth experts in tickets. He thinks it's better than the called shot ticket. I'm not so sure I'd go that far, but it's close.
I well, I know this is probably one of your questions, as far as overrated ticket. I think the called shot might be an overrated ticket.
Why do you think
I
that?
just think it is. There's so many of them, and it's a myth. It's a legend. It's a myth. No one knows for sure if he really called the shot or not. So, I mean, this is the Johnny Sylvester that really happened. So,
Yeah. I tend to agree, and I'll talk to you more about that as
yeah,
we
yeah.
kind of go
I
through.
didn't mean to jump in.
No. You don't have to jump in. You can do whatever you want. So I know that the focus of your ticket collecting is, super high end Grail tickets, and I know you
Yeah.
also enjoy some other smaller things. But what would be like if someone asked you, what is the focus of your ticket collecting?
Focus of my ticket collection, I would have to say the best of the best players or subjects debut mostly in sports. Debut tickets.
Do you also collect tickets that are not sports related? Do you have concert tickets and other things?
I I do. So I didn't bring any out. So I collect. Matter of fact, I just found for a friend of mine. So he knew I was into ticket collecting. He asked me to find him a 1976. I think it was Elton John ticket or something. Anyway, so I found him a 1976 Elton John concert. It was Buffalo, New York. Him and his sister went. It was just a nice story, and then I ended up finding one for him.
Um, it's cool. I think concert tickets are fairly undervalued.
Very
Uh,
undervalued.
Yeah, I think there's.
Elvis's last performance.
Let's see it. Wow.
So that's his last performance. It's the only one I've really seen with his full name on it. Usually because they're ripped pretty bad sometimes in half. So that was his last performance, 1977. I want to say, let me give you the exact date for our audience. June 28th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. I like that ticket. What's your you own so much and you own the really best of the best. What's the favorite ticket that you own, Mark?
The favorite one that I own is by far, hands down, the Clemente debut.
Ugh, wow. And that, according to PSA and what we know about tickets, that is a pop one of one.
That's a pop one of one, and there's a couple reasons for that. I mean, it wasn't on an opening day, so there's one big reason why it's a pop one. This was a doubleheader. He played in both games. He got his first hit in the first game, and let's see, Gary he keeps chiming in. So yeah, so he got his first hit in the first game. It was a doubleheader, and it was not on opening day. That's one of the reasons why it's so rare.
I know you went big on that ticket. Are there any tickets that you regret not going big or bigger on? Like, have you missed on tickets and you're like, wow, if I could get that back, I would have gone more. I would have bid more.
There is
Anything that
one.
stands out?
There is one. So it was actually I don't regret it because I did it for a friend. It was for Sean Daugherty. Sean. I collect tickets. He collects first hits, and I knew he collected first hits. REA had it listed as Jackie Robinson first hit. I mean, that's a Grail ticket for any first hit collector. It was, but it didn't have it as Duke Snider's debut. I knew it was Duke Snider's debut ticket. They didn't list it as that. So I text Sean through Instagram. I said, "Look, are you going for this ticket? I know it's first hit, but I'm looking for Duke Snider's debut, and it's a one of one too." So he said he was going for it, so I backed off it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a gentlemanly thing to do, and I think us ticket collectors, we all pretty much get along. I don't want to pump something up on an auction that I know a friend is chasing, and I think a lot of folks, I think a lot of folks do the same for me. I'm getting so many comments tonight, Mark. I can't even keep up with them. You're like, it's like I got a celebrity on. I got so much popping up. People are saying, top 10, you're number one, and how could you couldn't miss on anything because your collection's so great. I mean, I see them all coming up, and I can't even stay with them. If you mentioned when we first started talking about tickets potentially being an investment, do you actually see tickets being a real investment, or like I've heard it called more of a store of value? Do you see it as a store of value or really something that's investable?
Well, I think it's both. So, with cards, okay, I'll just give you an example. So with the Jackie Robinson debut. So with Jackie Robinson debut, kind of hard to see with these plastic covers. But so with all my card collecting throughout all my years and the high-end cards that I have, I've never had the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame, call me and ask me, or curator for the Baseball Hall of Fame call me and ask me if they can display any of my cards. But they definitely called and asked if they could display this. So
what'd you tell
them? No, because they wanted it indefinitely, and there was no contract, and it was too open ended. So I didn't want to agree to those terms. So with that being said, and it being displayed in a museum type setting, I think tickets are so underrated and so undervalued at this point still. No matter even during the height of the ticket market in 21 and early 22, I think they're still undervalued.
Yeah. Can you pull up that Jackie for everyone to see again and leave it up there for us to kind of cvel over a little bit? Wow.
Try to get it out of this glare.
Yeah, no, when you tilt it back like that, it's good. It looks good, yeah. What's the grade on that one, Mark?
This is a 1.5. 1.5. And I think
Beautiful.
it's, if you look, it was in a scrapbook. It wasn't glued, but it had the corners where they kind of set it in there, kind of got the fade
Yeah.
on it. So
Yeah. So what's your most recent ticket purchase or pickup?
my most recent would be a Don Mattingly and a Mariano Rivera debut.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
So you're a Yankee guy, right?
I am.
You love the
I am. And both
Yankees.
those are getting signed right now. Those are both with Powers right now, and Lee Summit, Missouri, getting signed. So I talked to Matt today about them. They're coming back next week.
Wow. So pop on those got to be really low.
Yeah, I think the pop on, and I got that from Sean too. The Mariano Rivera, that's pretty low.
Wow.
That's a low.
I don't think I've seen
Pop.
too many Mattingleys, like one here or there.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer, and it was in the Great Flannel auctions. So you really, it's kind of like an auction that you wouldn't see one in. So
Yeah. But I'm going to tell you, Mark, I mean, although he's not a Hall of Famer, I mean, Mattingly for me and you and other guys, our collective ages, I mean, Mattingly was such a huge figure in baseball for us. So even though he's not in the Hall of Fame, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer to us for sure.
Like when I had Will Clark sitting here the other day signing stuff for me. He's a friend of mine. He lives right around the corner in my neighborhood. And first time I ever asked him to ever sign anything, but we were talking about the same thing. And I was talking about his career. He's a 300 career hitter. That's and as many at bats as he's gotten. And, he replaced McGuire when McGuire got hurt. There's so many superlatives for his case for the Hall of Fame is ridiculous.
Wow. So I've got people, the boss, Marc Mader, check out his eBay page, sick stuff, blah, 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 Cage Lawyer. So we've got a lot of people on tonight that we normally don't. Yeah, Cage is, I watch his stuff. I mean, Cage is a good name in the hobby. He's a great name in the hobby. I like watching him. He's very down to earth. And
I don't miss a hobby minute, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like watching him. So I try to watch that too. So you said most overrated ticket you think is the called shot. Coming from someone who's had so much success in business and so much success in their personal life, what would you say is the most underrated ticket? Where should you put your money?
I am going to go with the Montana debut, Violi, the Montana debut, and this one's signed. And not only is it signed, Mike Violi, but when he signed it, when I was with TriStar, with Jeffrey TriStar, getting him to sign it, he told me he played in every game in this season. Not only did he play in every game, he remembered this game specifically because it was his first time out on the field. Not only did he remember it, but they were going to run a fake. They didn't run the fake ultimately, but he was put in as a quarterback he was a placeholder for the kicker to kick a field goal. They didn't run the fake, and they ended up kicking it, but that's what he went in for.
It's kind of funny. I know Mike Violi thinks it's an overrated ticket. And, because people are now saying, are you being sarcastic on the Montana debut?
No,
people are saying.
I think it's underrated. I think it's very underrated, but I heard Violi the last interview, so I wanted to rib him a little bit.
So Cage said he thinks the most overrated ticket is the Wilt 100.
I've been trying to get one of those. It has eluded me. That's probably one of the tickets that eluded me for the most part. I have never been able to get my hands on one.
It's
always
funny.
Been outbid.
Yeah, no, it's funny, Mark. For a long time I was like, I'm a Philadelphia fan. Wilt was big to my dad and my family members, and it's eluded me too. But in watching some of these NBA games now, guys are scoring, 70 points pretty regularly. I'm not so sure that record is breakable. I'm not so sure that stands forever.
I definitely agree with you. I would never say that's unbreakable.
Yeah.
I mean, for Kobe to go out and what he scored his last game, 80-something points, or
81.
81 points his last game, and dropped 81 on his very last game of a 20-year career. I think that 100 points is very attainable.
I'm laughing because clearly some of your friends are on here. You can't see the comments, I don't think, but they're ribbing the heck out of you, and they're just great comments.
Yeah, Lynn Shadorka, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good friend, family friend. So hopefully I brought some followers to
Yeah,
the page there. But
yeah. He's teasing, but it's all in good fun. No.
yeah.
So so what are the so you showed us the Jackie, you showed us the Clemente. What other biggies do you have there that you can show off? Because you've got all the biggies, brother.
Okay, I can show this one off for this is the Tony Gwynn debut. Again, another first hit, another non opening day ticket. So it's rare. I think there's only 2 of these out there.
So my understanding, Mark, is that Sean Doherty would trade you just about anything for that, and you've refused. Will you ever relent?
Here's what I told him. I would give him that ticket and my Jackie for his Jackie and the Duke Snyder debut. And he refuses. I don't know why. I have the Gretzky debut.
Great.
And then the Hank Aaron MLB debut.
Yeah. Well, yours is in great shape.
And then the Mickey Mantle, which, okay, so this is what I like about this Mickey Mantle debut. Okay, so when there's different points of reference to the player on the ticket itself, even though it's his debut, but I really get attracted to these. So if you notice up here, enter gate 6, that was his number when he came. That was his debut number, actually, when he wore in that game. So when he went back down to the minors in the middle of the season and then came back up, 6 was not available. They gave him 7. And so it had both his jersey numbers on there, and that was his career number. So, and then going in with that same subject, the different points of reference. This is a Kobe Bryant full debut, and actually, this is the only one I think that exists. I know it was when I purchased it. I don't know if it is still. I haven't looked at the pop report, but there's different points of reference to him too as well. And I think this is significant because it's kind of it shows the seat number is number 8, which is his rookie number, and then row number 2, which is Gigi's number, his daughter's number. So that attracted me to this ticket. So if there's different reference points on the ticket to the player, I'll even go harder at it for a ticket.
Wow. Okay. That's good to know. So I'll stay away from any tickets that have numbers on them that could be associated. I want to stay well away. Mark, I know you're into the high end stuff, but you do collect some of the more middle of the road stuff. Have you had any like lucky pickup finds for tickets where you've gone up to someone's table or you've been somewhere and you're like, hey, I might be able to pick that up cheap, and you've scored something, big.
I did. I want to say, let's see, that was a gift. Let's see. Oh, Montana Clark, the catch, signed by both of them. That was a buy it now on eBay. It was listed, obviously, skyrocketed like around 20,000, and I just put in $5,000 buy it now. And they bit.
They took it.
They took it.
I've never seen a catch ticket signed by Dwight Clark other than yours.
And I haven't either. And I've been approached a couple of times as far as somebody told me they had one and wanted to know if I'd buy it. It was raw. I would never buy a raw ticket, a signed raw ticket at least. So unless I knew the person. But they said it was legit, but I didn't see the ticket. So this is the only one I've ever seen as well.
Wow. All right. Well, you got anything else you want to show us? You've shown all the goodies, or you got more?
Got a Pete Rose full debut.
Wow.
That's actually a good ticket experience I had.
Talk to us a little bit about it. I know you met Pete at a Fitterman show or something.
Yeah, Ryan called me one week and asked me if I wanted to. Pete was coming in to do a bunch of signing for him, and wanted to know if I had anything for him to sign that he was going to be in. So I drove over to Houston. I think on a Sunday night, I went and just had my car serviced while I was there, and while I was waiting, and I went over to Fitterman's and had lunch with him and Ryan, and he signed both those debut tickets.
That's great.
Had a stub and a full.
That's awesome. Well, I think Ryan is getting into ticket collecting a little bit more.
He is.
So that's good. And I think, his name and his presence in ticket collecting is a very positive thing. I wish he'd let Mike Tyson sign some tickets so I don't have to keep chasing him around town. But
I think Justin and I are the only ones, unless Justin sold his, and I think he did sell his to the promoter, the boxing promoter. But the Tupac ticket, we both had I have a full one signed by Tyson. And I also have the raw one too. I'm not the raw one, but the unsigned stub as well, which you know about. It's on my
yeah,
bank account.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I see Darren Ravel in the house. I'm happy to have Darren in. Well, we got all the names. Marc Mader brings
Hey,
out
Darren,
all
I
the big
made the
boys.
top 10. I made the top 10, Darren. I wonder if you're going to make the top 10.
He may not. I don't know. Yeah, I get people here. Here,
In your
Darren's talking
sector.
really nice about you. Yeah, saying everyone needs a good guy like Mark in a sector like this.
I
So,
love Darren. Darren's helped me out a lot in ticket collect. I'm telling you, like I said, this was a gift. This is the Terry Bradshaw,
immaculate
the
reception ticket.
Immaculate
Yeah,
Reception. Yeah. So this is signed by both Terry and
and
so that
Freddie.
was from Darren.
Yeah.
A couple other things. Darren's helped me out a lot. Believe me, Darren's been a big help for me in my ticket collecting.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but he's a nice guy.
Those guys from New Jersey.
Yeah, tough guys. So Mark, again, if you had, $1,000 or someone had $1,000 and you kind of thought that you were going to have to spend it on tickets, where would you tell them to put that money? I mean, I don't know. Would you tell them to put it?
I wouldn't ask them I wouldn't tell them to put it anywhere. I'd ask them a few questions first. I'd ask them where their interests are, what they're interested in, and then within that interest, I'd ask them specifically, either it's a player or it's a event, what are they really looking for, and then I would tell them to go for that event, even if it is save your 1,000, get another 1,000 to get that ticket. Just don't go spend money on tickets that don't mean anything 2 weeks down the road.
Gotcha.
To you. Yeah.
What are 3 like Grail tickets that you're still on the hunt for? I guess you said one was the Wilt 100-point ticket. Any others that you're still actively hunting for that you desperately need to add to the collection?
I would like to add, even though I think it's a little bit overrated or a little bit overpopulated, I should say, the called shot. I'd like to add a full or a good looking called shot ticket, because there's so many of them out there. I have every single Brady ticket. I have Messi debut signed by Messi. I really can't offhand. I can't think of it offhand, but yeah.
I'd say this, Mark, if you're going to pick up the kind of collection that you have, if you're going to pick up a Ruth called shot, I think it's got to be a full.
That's what I'm looking for. If I'm gonna get one, it's gonna be a full one.
See, Darren trying to
the 19 World Series game. Okay, my biggest regret, I just sold that ticket. I just sold one. Matter of fact, Darren was the underbidder. It was on Live Auctioneer. I picked it up for like $2,500. This was years ago. Okay, that's a few years back. Picked it up for $2,500, and I just sold it for $12,500 to a guy in Chicago that was really linked. He told me the story. I can't tell it on this broadcast, but he told me the story about how he was linked to the 1919 World Series through his family. But he really wanted that ticket, so I sold it to him. And I'm actually looking at the other one that's on Heritage right now. They're selling game 1 is the only game I'm looking for.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great ticket, and I agree with Darren. It's pretty darn awesome. Yeah. So someone's asking, our Michael Jordan collector, Andrew Goldberg, who's an awesome guy. He's like, "Where's the Jordan stuff?
Okay.
Break it out. We know you got the debut.
There's the Jordan debut.
And the red. Yeah. Hey, Violi, he's got a red Violi, and he ain't parting with it.
Not this one. And I'm not parting with this red one either. This is the debut of the Air Jordan 1s. There's not very many of these out there. So there's a guy named Danny that owns one. I know Darren owns one, and I own two, which one's a box office, and I think three are red and one's a box office.
Wow. Super rare.
Very rare ticket. And that crosses over from ticket collecting to the sneakerheads, just different cultural type collecting.
Well, I always say Michael Jordan may be the best professional basketball player ever, maybe the best athlete ever, but undoubtedly the best shoe salesman ever.
Absolutely.
So, that's a pretty important ticket. And Darren, of course, pumping it, and I agree. It's a big one. All right, Mark, so I appreciate
when they have movies, when they're making movies after stuff like that, I mean, you got to know it's important.
It was such a good movie too.
Yeah,
I thought it was great. So, well, Mark, let's run the gauntlet a little bit.
Okay, I'm ready.
We're going for about 25 minutes. We could talk to you all day, and you could show and tell all day, and it would be great. Let's jump into it. So let's run the gauntlet on Stub Luv Live. So, are you a stub collector or a full collector? What's your favorite?
I'm a full collector. I don't even want to parse it out. I'm a full collector.
Right. I mean, if you can't get a full, you'll take a stub. But if there's a full, just because it's rarer and tougher.
That is correct.
PSA, Beckett, or no
PSA,
slab?
hands down.
You have anything slab by Beckett, or do you stay away?
I do. So I have, let's say it's the 96 College World Series signed by Morris. PSA wouldn't slab it because it was a all series pass, and so you couldn't pinpoint it to the actual World Series game, and Beckett said they would. Good for these games, and then Morris's home run, game-winning home run.
Yeah. Cool. Debuts or moments?
Debuts.
Why?
Because I think debuts are moments.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that. I mean, any guy that got into card collecting before ticket collecting, which I know Darren did, I know a lot of other ticket collectors have, and I know Darren's a moment guy, but you collect rookie cards. Well, these precede even the rookie cards, the debut tickets.
I agree. Good stuff. Signed tickets or unsigned tickets?
Signed, if I can get them signed.
Yeah. A PSA 10 ticket or a PSA Pop 1 ticket?
PSA Pop 1 ticket.
Yeah, you like the rare.
High pop, yeah, so if it's a high pop ticket, like Cal Ripken, quit playing, his last game of the streak or whatever, I have a 10-10 in that, and there's two 10-10s, and that's a full, in the full. But that's the only time I'll go for a ticket like that, if it's a 10-10 and if it's a high population ticket.
So you'd rather get a Pop 1 or something rare, Pop 3.
Someone else can't touch.
Right. And then if it's a more populous ticket, you want the 10-10 because that makes it kind of rare in and of itself.
In and of itself, just the condition of it.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Oh, God. Not even a close match. Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Oh, there you go. Right. Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan or Muhammad Ali?
Ooh. Got to give the respect to Muhammad Ali. This is Muhammad Ali's Olympic debut. Look at the size of that.
Wow.
Olympic debut and signed by Muhammad Ali. And this was the actual fight that he was in for that debut.
So is that a Pop 1, do you know?
I haven't recently looked at that, but that's very rare. I mean, it's a high grade. It's a 3 for a 1960 ticket, 10 signature. So, but I think Michael Jordan would probably refer to him as the best.
Yeah.
Too as well.
So it was Jordan over LeBron, Ali over Jordan. How about Ali versus Tiger?
Ali. I mean, Tiger's good. Don't get me wrong. I have every single Masters badge signed by Tiger that he's won the Masters in. But yeah, Ali was just a special person.
How about Ali or Ed Orgeron?
Ed Orgeron. Go Tigers! Go Tigers!
We know you're a Tiger guy, so that's why I threw it out there. Joe DiMaggio debut or the DiMaggio 56 game hitting streak ticket?
The debut, but I can't ever seem to find one of those.
Yeah, toughie. How about same kind of Ted Williams debut ticket, which did not make the top 100, or Ted Williams final game ticket, which did?
Yeah, that's a tough one too, but I would still pick his debut over his final game. I have DiMaggio's final game, which was a World Series 1951 World Series Game 6. So I have that one, but I can't find his debut. But I'm a debut guy all day long.
I know you're a big card guy too. You've got a lot of cards. If you had to choose buried with your best card or your best ticket, which are you picking, Mark? Now, just let me remind you, you're on a show called Stub Luv Live.
Okay, yeah. So I understand that. I'm probably getting buried. I have to pick one ticket.
Just one, Mark.
Okay, so I'm getting buried with the Clemente.
Wow.
Okay, and then this is probably, and then the Jackie will probably go to Kansas City, to the Kansas City Negro Hall of Fame for display. Okay, getting buried with Clemente, and then it's not going to be a card, but if it was a card, I have the only Joe Montana rookie card that's signed, and it's a 10-10. It's a pop one.
Wow.
So
that's cool. Joe Burrow or Pete Maravich?
No, Pete Maravich. Burrow got quick and injured before I pick him.
So you're pretty jacked up. Don't take offense. It's all in good fun. Are you natural or on the juice, Marc Mader?
Natural. Look, hydrogen water all day long. Look, don't drink, don't smoke, eat all whole foods. And I used to train in Parkland, Florida. I know you're from Parkland, because I just mailed a shipment to you. So anyway, I used to live in the ranches over there.
Oh yeah, and the other ranch as well. So speaking of working out, am I kind of worthy of getting in a workout with Marc Mader at the National this year in Cleveland, or I don't get there? Okay.
Absolutely. We'll be in the hotel workout place, and I'll put you through the gauntlet. That'll be the gauntlet.
I don't know, Mark. I don't know. Final question. Okay. Out of all the ticket collectors that you met at last year's National, who were you most excited to meet in person? And Marc Mader, remember you're on my show, and I met you at the National last year.
I'm going to have to say,
I'm just teasing.
Regardless of who you are, let's see, the most I was looking forward to meeting. Well, Sean, I talked to Sean numerous times.
Yeah.
Okay, but you, Sean, just everybody, really, everybody.
Sean's a great dude, and he's really good for ticket collecting. And everyone I think watches Talking Tickets and just kind of follows his lead. And if you follow his lead, you'll probably do pretty well.
Well, I'm going to give you a couple shout outs. So Sean helped me tremendously in the ticket collecting. Darren, more than over and above what he should have done in helping me with ticket collecting. Danny Bear, I don't know if you know Danny.
I do.
Okay, Danny's a great guy. I mean, and another guy that just goes unsung and just a great ticket collector and always bends over backwards for me is Mike Home over in San Diego. He's vintage tickets, I think is his.
Yeah, Mike Horn on vintage tickets.
Yeah. So Mike Horn, and that guy, if I ever need anything and I just put it up there on my Instagram page, he's the first. Him and Danny are the first just to respond. Look, I'm going to get these, put fillers out there. And last time I put something out there, Danny actually is the one that came through that time. But Mike always bends over backwards too.
Yeah. So Mark, next time you talk to Mike, tell him it wasn't so bad to come on the show. I've been begging him to come on. He's quiet. He's a quiet guy. Out. Yeah.
So I had lunch with Mike in L.A. We were at PSA, and I was showing him, and he actually was sitting at lunch holding the Jackie and the Clemente debuts. He was all pumped up over that.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Well, Marc Mader, thank you so much. Episode 9 of Stub Luv Live is over. I really appreciate you coming on. We could talk all day. We could look at your stuff all day, Marc. You're so good for the hobby. We're so thankful that you're a friend of all of ours.
Thanks for having me, and I really do appreciate it. You're doing good and thanks for having the show, by the way. I mean, it really does a lot for the hobby, so thanks.
All right, thanks, Marc. Talk to you soon. I'm going to fly
You take
off.
care.
All right, be well.
All right, you too.